Hello and welcome to the penultimate round of the Apex Racing League Prototype Championship. This week the series rolls into one of our favourites in North American sports car racing. It is Road America for us to visit. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is David Sampson. Once again, this broadcast being brought to you on Apex Racing TV from the Apex Racing TV esports studio. David, this is one of my top 5 circuits. It's one of the most perfect circuits in the world. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, it's we've been saying it for a couple of weeks, but it's really getting into the business end of the season now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you are correct. I think it's got to be a top 5 track for me. Whether it's it's a special one because I love it in endurances, I love it in sprint racing, short racing. I like this track. It has a bit of everything, has a good flow. Straights are wide. We have long straights, and there's a corner for everything, right? Carousels, kinks, flat corners, high speed corners, slow speed, lots of overtaking points, and yeah, we're going to need to see the top guys really nail it and deliver here because yeah, the points are we're getting to crunch time.
I'm sure we'll fawn about this circuit for the next 90 minutes or so, which will be the length of this broadcast, and whenever we visit it again, the same will occur. Number 1 circuit I think I'd like to see on the F1 calendar, honestly.
Oh, because I've seen it in IndyCar and it's fantastic. Yeah, why not? I suppose it's just facilities and stuff. It does look...
Oh yeah, like no one would care. No one in Wisconsin cares about Formula 1, right? Like I think IndyCar is push enough, so yeah, no one would attend.
No, I didn't think of that.
I'd like to see it.
I'd love to see it.
Used to be in the World Championship Grand Prix series. Some very good races. I think 2017. There are some good races in that one. Well, let's have a look at the calendar. Like we were saying before, there is only 2 more rounds to go. And, well, next week it is Red Bull Ring, but once again it is Road America. And, of course, the reason for this being picked is due to it being in IMSA for this week. How have you found the racing this week in the GTPs?
I haven't done as many as I wanted to because I've been so busy, but the ones I've done, I love racing here. Absolutely love racing here. So every moment I've been able to jump in the rig. I mean, when iRacing went into maintenance, I was annoyed. Second it came back up, I had 6 minutes to register. I just pressed the button because I just get excited racing here.
Yeah, it is really good. And of course, we've got two more rounds. Let's see what the championship standings are at the moment. It's been a good run of form for Thiago Martey. He started out the season very strong, but had some adversity on the race starts in particular, more often than not out of his control. And in the middle part of the season, it looked like he might be losing his dominance. But last time out at Monza, we saw Martey back to his best, and he's now got a cushion. I would say that his drop score is very weak, so he can't afford to have a no score. That would really jeopardise his championship chances. Dare I say, it would rule him out of the championship. But as long as he keeps maybe a couple of top 5s, that should be plenty enough for a 5th, a 6th even.
Yeah, I think Daniel Kraft has the similar situation, right? There was a week where he got a huge,
I think you're right, yeah.
Huge penalty. So could we see the Busby? But no. Yeah, you're right. QT, I don't know the guy well, but obviously I've seen him race now. He does seem like a more... I mean, we know he's fast, but he's on another level at the specialist track. Like the big tracks, absolutely on another level. Whereas on a regular track, he just has to live with being a really good driver.
This is a big circuit, right?
It is. This is one of them, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we wait to see if he can deliver on that front for this week. I think Race Clutch won. No, Race Clutch finished 2nd in the Endurance Championship, which we visited a couple of seasons ago. Albeit, I think Martin may have missed that round. So what I've just said is totally irrelevant. LMDH AM is also going on. However, that's pretty much over. Baj Trotsky, very, very strong. I hear that you raced against the man earlier this week. How did that go? I'm sure you taught him a lesson or two, right?
Here's the story I'd love to tell. No, he did. I didn't put my quality together. I thought I'd get the excuse out the window. Yeah, okay. He outqualified me. He was very consistent. I went into super fuel save mode, got caught out by traffic, and so the long and short is Tarosky beat me.
It demonstrates that Tarosky is a very good driver, and yes, improved massively compared to last season, and will be a very worthy amateur champion. I'm sure will be a pro champion in seasons to come. He is currently fastest in practice as well, so yeah, looking formidable tonight. In the teams, we have got Effect Simulations currently up at the top. There's no drop scores in this one, so you can have some pretty big flows when it comes to that, but 07 Racing and Race Clutch behind. We have got Andrew Dawson and Marteau around tonight, I believe. So there is the possibility for Race Clutch to gain back some serious points, but Effect looking very good. They still need to finish the races, but that's a nice cushion that they've built.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not had the best luck, I would say, season long. I mean, it's Busby and Joshua. Is that Effect?
Yes, I believe.
I know. I think there is a third, and Cullen. Yeah. Yeah, Busby's had his unlucky moments. Obviously, speeding, pit lane incidents. It's not been the easiest season. Joshua's been caught in a lot of incidents. It's just been tough out there. It's been a long season for Effect, I think.
Yes, it has been. But yeah, could well get some nice SDK Gaming or Apex Racing Academy subscriptions by the end of the season. So that would be a nice reward for them. In the LMP3s, Dan Sedgley, he is very much closer to us. I know that looks like a small gap, but because we have a smaller LMP3 field, there's less opportunity for a big swing. Also, Sedgley has finished on the podium every single race, and I think he's finished in the top 2 in all but 1 race. However, Fortan and State both around tonight. Hopefully that trio will be back at close to one another, because Sedgley was phenomenal last week. I mean, it was really the first time that we've seen an LMP3 driver drive away from the rest of the field. I think it was 15 seconds clear by the end of Monza.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, traffic did play a part. Like, it's different. Monza was a trickier circuit on the calendar. And it's one of those tracks. I think Monza is like, it's in a lot of people's top 5, and it's also in a lot of people's I would never race this 5. I know it's a mixed bag, especially in with the drivers I know.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the teams championship for the LMP3s, Olympus Esports, very pretty much there. It really extended that as well, with Sedgley having some good results recently. Way ahead of Delta V Racing at the moment. Let's have a look at this Road America circuit. I've said this a fair few times, but we've been to some really big circuits this season. I do think this is one of the best calendars that we've had in Apex Racing League prototype championship history. Turn 1, always, I think, a terrific corner. Certainly in sort of high performance GT cars. I think like a GTE car or like the old DP. That first corner is a real commitment corner, because it's pretty high risk on exit, with the curve and the grass coming up so quick on exit. Especially
in qualifying, it can make your lap, especially in confidence levels. Yeah, if you put that commitment in quali, now T1, it just gives you a big boost the rest of the lap. On the flip, if you have to lift and you're worried about touching, I don't know, it always feels awkward.
Turn 6 certainly feels awkward over the hill, and then you plateau and trying to sort out the car. Turn 7 in the GTP's easy flats.
Easy flat.
Yeah. Yeah, turn 8. It's all just getting through it, but then the carousel, I mean, are we going to see different lines through the carousel, or is it just going to be that tight line which we tend to regularly see?
Tight line in GTP, yeah. But yeah, you're right about that uphill, sort your car out, was it 6?
6, yeah.
Oh my God. You're going to see a lot of spins, a lot of longs, a lot of grass. It's just, you have to just lift early, brake light, turn light. Any of those words missed, and it all goes badly really quickly. It actually caught me out a lot in practice.
Just saw turn 10 come up as well. That's the kink. Again, easy flats out in these cars, but if you do bin it there, then it can spell disaster for the rest of the field. We've seen that a fair few times on Apex Racing TV through Bill Mitchell Bend and the final corner as well onto the start-finish straight. One of the best chances for a photo finish around this circuit as well. It's not quite Daytona levels, but I think it's up there with the likes of Phillip Island for a tight finish. So certainly keep tuned. We are going to transfer across to qualifying, because the LMP3 cars are out on circuit and trying to post their best lap times that they can possibly do. But then there'll be the LMDHs setting their times, and then an hour-long race as well around this Road America circuit. So we'll go to a quick advert, and we'll be back in just a few minutes' time trackside.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome to Wisconsin, Elkhart Lake Road, America. One of the best circuits in the world, as we've discussed previously, and we are currently in a half-an-hour qualifying session. First 10 minutes for the LMP3s, next 10 minutes for the LMDH AMs, and the final 10 minutes for the LMDH Pros. And there you can see the rumbling LMP3s out there. Currently, Adam States up at the top of the standings ahead of Remy Fortin, Marlon Schwab, and Dan Sergi in an unusual position, 4th position at the moment, but I don't think he's got a completely clean lap in so far.
So usually I say I don't know LMP3s at said circuit, but last season I did a lot of LMP3 around here, and it is a blast. You mentioned GTEs. This is the track that made me realise how much like GTEs these are, and I absolutely fell in love. That's not to mention I didn't enjoy GTPs this week. They are mega. The racing is mega. Like you mentioned about the photo finish, race to the line, I just think there's so much opportunity for fun racing around this track.
I think between the two classes, I'd rather be driving LMP3. It reminds me of the days of the Daytona prototype, the Corvette C7 Daytona prototype. It's a fairly similar car to that, maybe a little bit less power, but fairly similar specs. And States is maximising those specs at the moment because his best lap is a 58.222. And I feel like this is always about a 2-minute lap time in GT3, so it does sort of give you a rough idea of how quick each of these car categories is. And their State not quite close enough to really get any noticeable draft from the car ahead. I think that's Dan Sedgley actually just ahead of him. Sedgley may well move up the standings with that time, but he just moves up to 3rd. Is State able to improve on his lap time? I believe he is able to. He's down to a 58.093 now, 3.5 tenths of a second clear of the rest, and looking very strong to get a race victory tonight.
Yeah, let's see how close they are. These guys are usually well paced together, and this, like I said, this track has a little bit of everything. Everybody knows this track. I think it was one of the earliest Matt Malone videos I think I was watching. I think he loves this track. I remember when I was starting to tempt with the idea of getting into iRacing, it was Matt Malone. I think I watched him race here in, I don't know, GTE, I suppose. Ferrari, I think. And yeah, that was it. I knew I wanted to be racing. Yeah, it's one of those tracks that I had to learn because I come from F1 background. So yeah, when I got, the Road Americas, the Road Atlantas, the Sebrings, the tracks I now class as the best of the best are the tracks I had to learn, like Daytona. Yeah, the list is crazy actually. All the endurance style tracks.
I mean, I was the exact same. Like, I think it was maybe Project Cars that I started Road America driving, but it was only iRacing that I started Road Atlanta. Of course, Mugello is going to be coming to iRacing soon. I've never driven that track on a sim. That'll be coming in December. I could just say 3 weeks. That's more of an accurate thing to say.
The season's gone quick.
Season has gone quick.
Mugello, I think, isn't it in ACC? I've probably watched people race it, but I don't know.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Aceticos are pretty good at getting some fairly obscure Italian circuits. And Mugello is one of the biggest ones and certainly one of the best ones. Bottan's deciding to dive into the pit, so that'll be his qualifying session over. But Sedgley is still bombing it around there. There is State as well. And Sedgley, this could well get him higher. A few personal best sectors, and it does promote him up to P2. State was able to go even faster, 7/10 of a second clear. Adam State, by the end of that qualifying session, by far the best lap he has produced so far this season.
Are they practicing pit stops, or is it a rule in qualifying where you can't just park it and tow?
I guess they're practicing.
Okay, cool. Right. It is a difficult way. It's not. It's uphill, so it's not usual. You know, if you're going to lock, you do not want to be doing it at Road America. Plus, there's a few bumps.
I can't remember exactly who it was, but but in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, and I am talking about 6 years ago, there was a very good driver, obviously a World Championship level driver, who absolutely messed up the pit entry, and I think didn't even get into the pits because they managed to ruin it that badly. And so I would absolutely say it is a tricky pit entry, and it's a very long pit lane as well. When we were doing the Endurance Championship round here, we sort of had to change the penalty size just because we knew that making someone go down the pit lane in the first place is a nightmare, let alone give them an extra 20 seconds stationary compared to someone like Spa. I mean, you're losing pretty much twice as much time by trundling down the pit lane round here in comparison. So yeah, it is an awful circuit to pick up damage on in the early stages, because then you're going to have a long way to go to make up that extra pit stop in the race. This man, Mark Hutchinson, has been in pretty good form recently, vying for second place in the Amateur Championship. He's going to be one of our first drivers to set a time out of our 7 LMDH AMs we have tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, this isn't really a Porsche track as he gives us a big weave. He's obviously double outlapping, yeah. That's what I did every IMSA, by the way, double out. I know I said sometimes I was thinking, but Road America, it's just too long. So there's your best to just double outlap, get the tyres warm and use one ERS lap, but one ERS lap, that's all it is. It's David Favaro. He must be finishing on.
I think he's just starting one. I think he only one warm-up lap, I guess, for Favaro.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean, if you press for time, I suppose it depends on their strategy. One outlap push, one outlap push. Don't tell me they can get. Obviously, this is a different format to the officials. I suppose I'd rather more attempts than extra warm tyres and less attempts, maybe. Depends on your confidence levels, really. But you talk about commitment, double outlapping, and then you only get one shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I think that would ruin me. I think that was, I would just be too scared to push the car whatsoever. I never messed with tyre strats. When you got as much talent as I, you don't need to.
You only get, so here's the LMDH thing, you only get one shot anyway. Because
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't have the ERS for 2, so that's why doubling's better, because you just have slightly better conditioned tyres without any wear, but better temps and PSIs than you would have on, especially in the Cadillac, on that first push lap. It takes about half a lap for it to really come in your rears and stuff, so I'm not sure how the others are. I played with them in fixed around here, but I didn't commit to actually open. Azzy Tarosky do a 47.1, Nucera 47 flat. What's the Celsius time?
Very much faster. Pretty much minimum temperatures right now. 20 and 21.
Oh, I have no idea then. That's rocket ship levels.
It is, it's been morning time of day, I think, for the official stage, and this is similar. They actually started off in the dark in practice for this, but they've had 2 hours pretty much since that, so we're now 8 o'clock in the morning in sim. So yeah, some very nice conditions, but we'll be getting a little bit warmer as the session goes on. It's the 1st of April 2024 in sim, because iRacing unfortunately doesn't model the winter weathers for some reason.
So predicted lap times then, I can guarantee we're going to see like a 44.3, 44.2.
Okay.
So yeah, they're definitely, Favaro had it's not bad, a 45.2 is not bad at all, but the 47s, they're all double out lap. They're just not using any deploy.
Well, Turuski's much faster on this lap. He's basically a 10th faster in Sector 1, 10th fastest in Sector 2, quarter of a second fastest Sector 3, 4/10 fastest Sector 4, and there's six sectors. So I think this lap time for Tiroshki coming up, this could well break into the 43s.
Yeah, it's looking like it. 43s, did you say?
Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, if I'm comparing to Ferrari, it's
I mean, I haven't done
they could do
any 20C, but I know, I mean, Carol did a 43.6 in like 1919, but I mean, a 43 is disgustingly quick.
Nah, I was quite far off, wasn't I?
So I said, what, 44.3, I think will be the pole time in the end of the day, but let's see. That's still a very solid lap time. I don't know if a Porsche could do that, even with Mark at the hands. Let's see. No. 45.1.
Still got Van Helden to set a lap time. I think Van Helden just crossing the line, actually. He goes to 5th position. Ben Cullen and Nuno Costa still on their first lap. Not sure if they're doing a double warm-up lap or not. Costa crosses the line, and that one seemingly was invalidated, so he does not pop up on the timing board, but very much looks like he's still pushing. Any annoyance with the sun? You're just seeing it pop up a bit through Bill Mitchell bend?
Not in the officials that I can remember. Maybe it's just a different time of day, this race, but no, not at all. I've had HDR on for so long. It's only ever affected me, I'd say, twice in all the years. And Le Mans at T1 was the worst experience in the 24. Oh my, I just had that sense of dread every time I come around to it. It's a tricky corner. And the sun kept blinking in and out at max brightness. Nearly got my sunglasses. As you see, Favaro completing his 2nd attempt. If he is double pushing, he didn't pit, he's double pushing that ERS, then, I mean, let's see. I don't think this lap time is going to do anything. Unless he is just out there on a, yeah, I think he's just out there. He's just done one out lap.
Yeah, he was not particularly fast in that one. His next sector time is a bit off, actually. He's just done another first sector, and it's about 2.5 tenths off really where he would want to be. So
I remember this livery. I remember following it for 45 minutes, dreading this conversation we were going to have about it. Let's see.
So Tiroshki's going to have one more lap. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly easy then, isn't it, to do the double warm-up. Well, yeah, you can do the double warm-up twice, can't you? And get 2 laps. So I think that's probably the strat that most of our pro drivers will be adopting. Thanks, by the way, to everyone who's tuned in. Very much appreciate your attendance. Do let us know who you are supporting. Might be supporting Nuno Costa, who's just moved up to 4th position in the standings. Yeah, do let us know in the YouTube chats any thoughts and any mistakes that we make. We'll be very grateful for you to correct them.
We make mistakes? That's odd. Oh, I suppose you did say a 43.
Yeah, maybe I was using the word we generously.
I do love this track. Really, really do. It's just so many corners. They're all fun corners. There's no corners. I just think it's fantastic. And GTP, this last corner is really good as well. You've got to be fully committed, though, to track out all the way to the grass to get that speed carry. This is one of those tracks where you put it in attack down the straight, and the first third of the straight, you won't notice anything. And then the people on balance, it stops. And then all of a sudden, you have LMP1-like feeling. It's really cool. But you need to make it count. If you waste it, later in the next lap, you're going to be paying for it if you're not very good at, say, extending your brake in and trying to regenerate a little bit. See Balage. This doesn't look like a lap, though. This must be...
No, yeah, no personal best on this lap.
I suppose he can finish this next lap, though, right?
Yeah, you can do this next lap.
So, yeah, he's cheesed it for a double out lap. Now he's going to be pushing. We'll keep an eye on his sectors. So as we follow him here, it'll be 4th here.
We'll be looking for a 12.9 in the first sector. It is a 12.8 personal best.
3rd
That's
here.
very nice.
It went down to 2nd. Oh, he used it just for rotation, though. But I think, I mean, if he had to pull it, he was worried that he was tracking out, which means he's already lost a bit of time. We'll keep an eye on the sector. Hell, I might have learned something. Maybe I'm wrong. 2nd gear here.
Not a personal best 2nd sector, but it's still strong.
1st. No, there's no way this guy out-qualified me. No, he's blown this corner as well. He's blown it, surely. Yeah,
he's
this is
scrolling about a lot.
Maybe he's just warming himself up because he's trolling us now with gears. Second,
I mean,
late second.
you're criticising these sectors, but he's still going faster than everyone else in the outs as Nucera goes to second position.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, an odd blip of a throttle doesn't actually slow you all that much, but it does tell you his current state of confidence, right? If he's pulling second in a third gear corner, he's just feeling like he's tracking out, which, you know, what I mean is the time's already lost before the gear pull. This is a commit corner. Keep it in third for maximum. Okay, he's pulling second. He's just dropped. You want third there to keep the engine braking at a minimum there. Hey, what do I know? You beat me, so.
No, well, I don't think this is going to be an improvement for him. He's got a couple of personal bests out of 5 sectors, but might be another 45, 6, something like that for him, but I don't think it will be an improvement. And it was a, well, you know what? It was a 44.5. It was only 7 thousandths off his first lap time. So in terms of consistency, I don't think anyone's going to be matching this guy. But in terms of ultimate pace, maybe he will be matched. I wouldn't necessarily bet on it because that is a strong time from the Hungarian.
As we see Mr. Webcam himself to rival most streamers, that is a good looking setup. Very good. Let's see what he can manage. What's he in the... I have trouble telling these cars apart.
All right, that's the BMW.
Yeah. Nice lights on the BMW. Yeah, interesting though if Trotsky's using that gear all the time. Very low gears. Canada corner, it's poor traction because you tilt, you've got so much rotation in, and I find the lower engine braking and the more traction of third just give much more confidence building. See Daniel Craft, these guys are gaggled up quite close. So we got Craft, QT, Busby, Madsen. We've got a lot of big names out there.
Well, we got 13 pros in total. It's quite a large field that we got.
Looks like all of them are going for double out laps. I was wondering why they're A, following each other so closely, and B, weaving, but they're all going for double out laps. Oh, them two are getting rather close rather quickly.
Aaron Smith, who's had some strong pace recently, particularly at Sebring. Monza, I think he made maybe a mistake or two, which denied him that chance, but expect him to be fighting for a top 5, maybe a podium, maybe even a win. We really wait to see what Marteau turns up. Sometimes Marteau can be unbeatable, and sometimes he can be fairly vulnerable. Only a few weeks ago at Watkins Glen, he looks very beatable on that occasion. He was beaten by his own teammates and Paul Busby as well before Busby got, apologies, I think it was Kraft who beat him before Kraft got a post-race penalty for an incident with a back marker.
Hold on, you know we talk about making mistakes? I think the chat I sent you had a mistake in it.
Oh no, they've been active, and
Teague, Thomas, Alan, hey guys, sorry. I have repaired it, but I'm sorry. Sam, I'll send you it. I don't know what went wrong. I will inspect after, but I've sent you it now.
Thank you.
Hello guys, sorry for missing chat.
Yeah, please.
I will message.
Criticize us.
I will message these people personally. Don't you worry.
Apparently, the Auto CC works on David. I say David, which I mean yourself. Yeah, that's impressive. The only other man that works for is Alex Simpson. He did Late Apex with a couple of weeks ago.
Ah.
And I was editing a video for that, and DaVinci Resolve's Auto subtitles work absolutely perfectly on it. And so I'm pretty sure Alex just got hired by some company a few years ago to speak every word in the English dictionary, and use that because the guy speaks well.
Right, I have messaged Thomas Teague, all of them, to apologise for the technical error, and that he wasn't ignoring them. I don't even know what made me check.
Andy Dawson putting some pretty dangerous comments in there. Heard on the grapevine that Sam's favourite track and special event was Daytona. Well, that's I think we all know, Andy. That's not 100% true, is it? And we have got a short actually on our YouTube channel, which has got about 3,000 views now, and gets about 500 views every time Daytona 24 comes around, which is me slating the event. So And he needs to think twice when posting next time, I think.
Daytona. I like Daytona Endurance. I am not the biggest fan of Daytona as a sprint track, and that goes really true for Le Mans, Nordschleife. Big draft tracks or stupidly long laps, I just don't like on sprint racing. I mean, Daytona sprint racing is just fuel saving with a lap or two of racing. That's it. You're just better to fuel save, and make your attack at the right time, and that's Daytona.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Le Mans not that good for sprint racing, I think, either. I think most people agree. And, well, that's just the edge of the iceberg, but I won't add more about it. Valencia moves up to second position. Some big times coming in. Dawson now goes to, well, I say second position for Dawson. It is still behind Turoshki, who was the amateur driver. Remember, Turoshki did a 44.53. That is the time for the drivers to beat. So Dawson's still a little bit off that, but some very close times being posted. Wilson is one of them. We got the top 8 in the pro, separated by just 0.3 of a second. Thiago Marte, he's still on his second lap at the moment, and that will be his first push lap. But pretty much everyone bar Marteau, Segre and Zoffoli have set their first representative lap time.
Yeah, it's you're excluded the AMs from that amount. It is so many people within the 3-4 tenth range. Absolutely insane. Top 11, I think I'm seeing correctly, or within 4 tenths.
I think it's soon going to be top 12 because this man's going to get in amongst them. Actually, I say that his sector times are underwhelming, to say the least. I think this may have even been an outlap. I think he may have had to bail his lap earlier on. So Marteau now pushing on his lap. And yeah, leaving it pretty late. If this is his push lap, then this is going to be it. I don't think he's going to get a chance to do another lap after this.
So I never played with this idea, but I did. We mentioned it a few times when me and the guys were practicing. But you can push and bow, as long as you don't bow too late and you don't cook the tyres. You could essentially do one out lap, push for a lap with deltas on, and if you feel you're away from it, harvest all your ERS and then go the next lap.
I think Marteau is. These are not good sector times for Marteau. I don't know if he's backing off again, but he's lost like 4 tenths in the second sector alone. You know what?
If I double out lap, he might want to triple, just to show us we're saying it wrong.
I think he's gonna have. I don't think this is a push lap. I think he's gonna have one lap to do it. And, a lot of pressure on the go.
Yeah. Alan, Sam, we need to arrange financial compensation. Yes, Teague, Hassan, Norris. Yeah, they're all back. Okay, they're back. We've got them back. And they were agreeing that LMP3s are fun here. Actually, yeah, we did arrange, when the officials were dying down a bit with GTPs getting the hype, we actually arranged, like, I think it was 7 of us to race in LMP officials hour after hour after, and it was the best fun we've had in a long time. It was a lot of fun. I love this track. I love this track and everything.
Any personal best being set? Pedro Valencia looking dangerous on this lap. Watch out for Valencia, currently P3. Yeah. It's a couple of personal bests in the first 2 sectors, not a personal best in the 3rd sector, but it was still very strong. He will be up there by the end of this session. Marteau, by the way, puts in a time, but it wasn't representative really. He goes to 11th place in class. Segre and Zoffoli also eventually getting a lap time in, albeit once again those guys are not representative.
Hey Trogrowth, hey Matty, yeah, rooting for Andy, nice Tony. It's looking good. Yeah, QT's lap is definitely a no deploy lap, 100%.
Okay, Marteau's just done the fastest first sector that I've seen anyone do. I don't think I think that might be the fastest. I'm not sure purple times come up in qualifying. But yeah, Marteau's looking very quick. Valencia is looking good. Not phenomenal. I think this might get him ahead of Dawson. I don't think it will get him ahead of Turoshki. This could be a 44.5. What is it? No, it's a 44.6, so he's still just lagging a bit.
Yeah, there's some close times though. Top 12 now, 4 tenths of a second for Pro and Am.
Marteau currently 2 tenths up on Turoshki's pole time.
Yeah, this guy's gone for a hyper triple out lap strat.
Does be no improvement for him. That was a push lap, I believe. They do have the time once they cross the line to finish the lap time that they start. So
QT may not have. No, he will not have.
he won't have
no. So this needs to be it. No pressure on the last corner where you can easily blow it.
As long as he doesn't mess this up, this is going to be pole position. I think he's got
he's nodding. He's nodding.
4. This could be a 0.4. It might be a 0.5.
0.3.
I think
I'm calling it. We called it earlier. I said 44.3 for pole.
Oh.
294.
You can round it up. I'll give you
No,
that.
I'm wrong. It's not.
Madsen moves up to 5th.
It's a great lap. Great lap.
Well, Madsen 4th in class, 5th overall. That did put him ahead of the amateur driver Nucera. Zafoli, who had a pretty miserable start to this session, but he has been putting in a couple of laps. A couple of personal best sectors on this one, but I'm not 100% sure if this will get him ahead of Busby nonetheless.
This has got to be the tightest quali we've had.
Yeah, I think so.
Gotta be. Well, QT ruins it a little bit. Yeah, QT's ruined it. It's over. It's just typical quali now. Oh, Valencia with a little bit of draft. It's not going to be enough. Oh, Smith. Was that just improved?
Yeah, Smith up to 5th. Madsen's improving as well. Here he comes.
Nucera has been in the pits for ages. He obviously was like, there you go. That's all I've got. Confident.
Well Nucera's out. So
that's why he's been in the pits a while.
Yeah.
Wow, he drives good. I just assumed he was pro. Andrew Dawson rounding up.
Madsen to P2, out of the pros. P3 overall. Dawson, not looking particularly good this one for Dawson. Chauvel crosses the line. I think he's just improved to 12th. Kraft, he now moves up into 2nd place. Nice time there for Dan Kraft. We haven't talked about him a whole lot. Dawson, though, gets ahead. Dawson's still behind Turoshki, however. So it looks like it's going to be the same front row as what we saw at Monza. Arte ahead of Turoshki.
Yeah, brilliant qualifying, really close. AMS put it overall 3rd, 9th and 11th. Some good showings there, especially from Turoshki. Or Nucero's pipping David Favaro here. But yeah, QT with the ultimate pace. But from Dawson all the way down, it's very, very tight.
Yeah, it is real close. You think Mate's going to pull away like we saw at Monza then? I mean, this is a very slipstreamy circuit, but in these GTPs, I guess there's not going to be enough for these guys to stay in touch, is there?
It's not. It is a slipstream track, but the best use you can make of it is for fuel saving. Yeah. I know I go on and on and on about that. Never say overtaking. I know it sounds boring, but you're better to use it because the downhill section, for example, turn 3, is it?
Yeah, well, turn 5. Yeah.
Turn 5, sorry. 3, the 3rd actual turn. Yeah. You can just clutch in or roll if you're following in draft so far back. It's downhill. Let the gravity carry you. Let first wonder what you're doing, and yeah, you can make huge gains in pit stops. I was making, say, 2.5, 3 seconds over on everyone behind me, and Owen, Carroll, and Paddy, the ART boys, 2.2 ahead of me on fuel. So that's 5 seconds from the QT level to the average AM, for example. So sure. Fuel here is huge.
Well, the drivers are currently gridding up, and so we'll have a look at what our grid has in store for us. And there is Kia Thiago Mato up on the pole position. You can't win the title tonight, I believe. Well, he might be able to win the title tonight, but
his drop week will always hang over him, so he can't.
Yeah, but I feel like if everyone else gets a no score.
True.
If everyone else retires. But yeah, basically, he's not going to win tonight. He is on pole position. His teammates is alongside him, Andrew Dawson. The two of them have got a 1-2 already this season at Watkins Glen. They're looking to repeat that tonight. Belaschowski lines up top of the amateur drivers in 3rd place. There's Dan Kraft, Nick Madsen, Hugo Prete, Pedro Valencia, Aaron Smith, Simone Nucera, Paul Busby, Davide Favaro, Lorenzo Zaffoli, Joshua Wilson, Philip Kraft, Ishka Chauvel. Mark Hutchinson lines up in 16th place. Watch out for Hutchinson to be gaining a lot of places. Then it's Seagray, Costa, Cullen, and Van Helden. Perhaps, arguably, the most impressive lap time of the qualifying was Adam State's time in LMP3. It put him 7/10 of a second clear, and he is ahead in that category. Ahead of Dan Sedgley, Remy Fortan, Arlen Schwab, Kevin Smith, and Paul Joseph Clist, rounding out that 6-car field. And we have got the full formation lap for this one. And the start zone for tonight is just after the bridge. So once the bridge passes, then the leader has control of the field and they can launch.
Past the bridge or under them? What is the rule?
Well, just after the bridge.
Because obviously
after.
you want to go, the leader wants to go just at the tip of the hill so that your power starts coming out, the power comes in, and then everyone else has got that uphill to matter. But let's see, Balaj does have the issue of his teammate being alongside him. I mean, they need to play this smart, because if QT tells Andrew when he's going, he won't be able to give draft because they'll be side by side, which is fine. If QT just doesn't tell Andrew and lets him just go on instinct, then he can just pick the side of Dawson, give Dawson the draft the whole way down. Trotsky will not have a chance. We may see the Acura of Kraft clear Trotsky into 1-2. It is amazing in the corners, but then Trotsky's going to blow by the Acura that walks all the way down to 5.
Yeah.
But you can use attack mode here. You need to be careful. It took me a lot here to sort of play the balance in that, because there was a lot of straights this track. You do not want to leave yourself where you aren't getting the arrest on a straight and your opponents are, because you'll absolutely be a sitting duck.
Yeah.
But it's a powerful weapon here at the last corner, very powerful.
Anything that these drivers will be doing on the formation lap to save that?
Do you really want me to say it? I hope they're all clutching and they shouldn't be warming their foot. They should just be fuel saving. It's a long lap. You just push the throttle 50%, jam the clutch, and just roll as far as you can to the guy behind. Hopefully pushes you a little bit. You know,
yeah.
If you've got your teammate there, get him to push you the whole out lap and let him use fuel. No, but yeah, fuel saving. There's a lot of corners, it's a long lap. One week, I promise, I'll only talk about overtaking.
I mean, it's what we have to do, right? It's like in Formula 1, Brundle has to every time say, track limits this, track limits that.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing. It's not everyone's favourite thing, but it is a necessary element.
Yeah.
I mean, a wild scenario. You think potentially would this series be more fun? You think if fuel just wasn't a thing? If fuel, you just had a standard weight in the car, say 50 litres, but you didn't actually burn fuel in sim. Is that something we need to simulate, or do you think the tactics make it more interesting?
I'm one for more the merrier. If there's fuel, if there's 2 fuel stops, rain or changing conditions or safety car, they're handled terribly in iRacing, but I find the more the better. Some people avoid tough tracks because they find them tough, where much like Lewis in the back room there, he talks about Kota and why he loves it, because other people find it technical and struggle, and he doesn't. So
very talented.
I like getting good, like I'm good at fuel. Over the years, I've worked very hard at it. So for me, it's an element of racing I look forward to having, because it gives me... So yeah, I like the more technical things that you have to master makes the better racing.
Traffic as well.
Traffic, yeah, thank you. Yeah, multi-class racing is what I live for. Fuel. Is it the most fun subject to constantly talk about fuel? No. Has it decided 3 or 4 of the races where we've had the faster guy 3 seconds back thinking that he's not got it? And he comes out the pits 1 second ahead. Easy. Right, as they're getting ready to go green.
Yeah, so Marte just has to wait until pretty much at the top of the crest, just after the bridge, and then he can put his foot down. It is under his control from this point
Gabriel, thanks
onwards.
for the sub to the channel, mate.
And now he does put his foot down, and he does immediately give his teammate Dawson the draft. Turushki slots in behind Kraft, not able to quite get a good launch, and is vulnerable himself from Nick Madsen behind as they dive into turn 1. Great move there from Crafty to get past Turushki. That was some real decisive maneuvers, and Turushki getting fairly annoyed on the headlights as well. In the LMP3s, we have got Adam State controlling the order. He's on the inside of the circuit as there has been a big collision in the LMDHs. That's about 5 cars being wiped out. State pulls the cars away with Dan Sechi and Remy Fortan behind him, but Kraft, Zoffoli, Wilson, Busby and Ferrari all involved in that turn 2 collision.
I told you that Acura was going to get Turushki and that Turushki would get it back. The Acura is just so good at the start of the race, but it's just lacking in a straight line. So over race pace, it's just not the car. It is brilliant on fuel, though. I don't want to mention it, but that'll be the last time I mention it. But out of... Oh, as we see the...
that was Clist.
Yeah, off, very off. Yeah, the Acura is built different on fuel. Oscari in chat, we find the off-tracks are at Kotak. Yes, the off-tracks are not great.
Malte really did comfortably get that launch. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of communication from Dawson. He did drop back initially, but Turoski didn't get a great launch. Honestly, Kraft didn't get a great launch either. But yeah, it was that performance through turn 1 which enabled him to be able to get past. And he's staying close to the P2 man in these early stages.
It just made sense that QT went and then he could just give Dawson the drive. If they go together, you're always having to think, okay, one of us needs to lift, and it just gets too technical before one.
Well, Cullen has had an issue. That might be at the penultimate corner, it might be at the final corner. Well, it's between the two of them. And the effect simulation driver looking like he's escaped any significant damage, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour long. Oh, okay.
That effect simulation car hasn't, though.
That's going to affect his race. See what I did there? Okay.
Taking you 8 rounds to make that, Jake.
Damn it. Really? Has it taken 8 rounds? Once again, it's an hour-long race. These guys should be calm, fuel saving, keep an eye on their tyres, seeing who around them has got what sort of race pace. So we've got Moto leading, Dawson, his teammate 8/10ths back, followed by Kraft, Tarowski, Madsen, Prato, Valencia, Smith hanging on well. Bichevelle, is that right?
Yeah, he's had a good start, hasn't he?
Yes, very good start. Lucero, Sigro, Hutchinson's fallen back, right? Maybe he was caught up in...
He just had a poor qualifying, did Hutchinson. He stayed fairly similar, but yeah, he was one to watch from the start. I think he qualified P16.
Yeah, that Porsche's... I don't know. I'm not sure I can say the things about it I want to say on the air.
State continuing this phenomenal pace. He's a second clear of Dan Seju already, and it is, whilst it's not that important necessarily to break the draft in the LMDHs in these early stages, in the LMP3s it's probably a bit more significant with the slightly larger slipstream effects, and he pretty much has been able to do that. 1.1 seconds to gap to Seju. Voltan nearly a second further back. The likes of Busby and Kraft actually passing these guys for overall position because of their early pit stops. We will get a replay of that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the replay. Because it was quite a few cars, wasn't it? It looks like it's really affected... I'm not trying to make the joke again, but it has affected 2 of the Effect Racing teams. Well, one is damaged, one was last, so it's not looking good. Clist was the person we saw on the dirt. That explains why he's 13 seconds back. It's going to be a long day for him, but it's an hour race, so anything can happen, especially with traffic.
Short day, it looks like, for Joshua Wilson. He was involved in that one incident in the LMDHs, and I think he's thrown in the towel. Yeah, the Swedish driver, no more for him. That is our Swedish representation in this race. Gone.
So, funny story, Josh. He's a really good guy. He's very quick, and one of the first times we properly raced together was actually around here a couple of seasons back in LMP2. And I constantly joked about it because in the first race we did together, he completely spun before race start. You know, like the uphill, it had gone green because the LMDHs had gone, and he flat spun completely sideways right in front of me. I avoided, no damage, but it's been a running joke for well over a year. Before green. Well, no, before the race started, my ad. Okay, Daniel Kraft, we're following on board here. He's just about hanging on to the draft, but he needs to be... this is when it gets tough to consider not fuel saving, because right now he's more advantageous to absolutely push. As long as it's not going to be pushing over, say, 6 laps, if he can just push to get in the draft of Dawson and then get back to routine on saving everything. But it's always that tough call. Do I continue saving without the draft, or do I push and go get it? And really, you just have to answer it quickly. But yeah, he's a second back off Dawson. Tarowski's hanging on nicely. Madsen again. Yeah, we've got quite the gaggle all the way back to Zavoli. Obviously, maybe one of the front runners who got caught in that incident because he's 5 seconds back off Costa.
Yeah, everyone in the top 11 in the 46s that last time out. You got a 0.6, a 0.4, a 0.7, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 0.7, 0.7, 0.9, 0.9, 0.9. So everyone's very evenly matched, basically. And in fact, Dawson was 0.2 of a second quicker than Marte on that last time around. So yeah, Dawson is starting to drop Kraft a little bit, but Kraft still within 2 seconds of the race lead. Meanwhile, Davide Favaro getting ahead of Cheyenne Van Helden. This is the 5th position out of the amateur drivers. They are a bit detached from the drivers ahead. I think they'll be able to bridge that gap fairly quick. Their pace is competitive. Certainly Favaro's pace is very competitive. But yeah, the Italian up to 15th place overall.
Yeah, we'll get you that replay, see what happened with the big group. Because, yeah, like you said, 5-6 cars at least on the first lap. It could just be one spins and then nowhere to go, and then it all adds up really quickly.
It is a trouble corner, that turn 2 on that one, because when I won the BSR Radical Winter Series Championship...
First repeat?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow, right. He pretty much takes out his... Well, yeah, it's...
Let's see that. Yeah, so
Busby
Busby tagged Favaro, and Favaro then hit his teammate. This is from... Oh, it actually... Yeah, he's killed his... Essentially by... So this is on board with Safoli. Gets absolutely sandwiched.
And Wilson was the other effect car, of course, he was caught up in that.
Oh, what a shame.
And then it was also Philip Kraft as well, I think was the orange car who was just on the inside of us on that last onboard.
Yeah, that's tough. He went for a big move and it did not pay off, unfortunately. Yeah, difficult, especially when it was, they're all so gaggled up. They knew they had the pace, and obviously I'm talking with hindsight, it's easy to speak from the chair, but when the adrenaline's going, you want that position.
Well, yeah, I think it was just a misjudgment, wasn't it, from Busby, where he's sort of anticipated the driver ahead to brake a bit later, and he's just nudged that, and it can be disaster for the other 5 cars.
Yeah, well, his teammate was the car. Because he
didn't touch his teammate.
But he almost moved to the side of his teammate and then affected his braking zone, clipped the car, and then it's killed his teammate. All right, we go on board with Pedro Valencia here, coming up to Canada corner. Let's see if he uses 3rd gear. Someone's got to. No. All right.
You sure you're doing the right gear?
I am doing it correct. I'm 100% sure. These are all wrong.
No, I mean, empirical evidence is...
No, look, he could just be using it to combat the dirt. Yeah, I may very well do as well. If you're following this closely with someone, then you always want a little bit more kick from the car. A little downshift doesn't hurt. Like I say, it doesn't really hurt. Oh, this is a good draft. He's defend... Oh, what a... Wait!
Oh, whoa. No, that's going to be almost into the wall, the pair of them.
That was not on. That was that Prato with the... I mean, Prato moved to the middle, then he moved... He was on the racing line, he moved to the middle, and then when the car was there...
Did he move further to the right, you think?
I'm only 100% sure.
You're only 100% sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
I mean, I think we could all see the dive to the inside coming, right? I mean, that he was just trying to feint a move as Valencia is still clear of these guys battling behind Pierre Chouvel and Nucera. And they've got the LMP3 as well involved. I think that's Paul Joseph Clismon that's going to get held up. And taking advantage of that there was Pierre Chouvel. Nice work from him. He got a little bit fortunate there, but now there has been contact behind, and that's 3 LMDH is involved. And that is Prato after his earlier off on this lap. He is involved in Costa and
who else?
Maybe
Is that new?
Costa. Wait, did I say Costa before?
Yeah.
I said Costa before.
There was a 3rd.
There was a 3rd. Cullen? Seagrave, maybe.
Seagrave is 6 seconds off Hutchinson. That makes sense. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll get you a replay of that because I missed it. I was glancing down at my timing tower. Well, I saw the aftermath, but I didn't see what caused it. But no, yeah, Prato moved too many times. I mean, he was already defending the middle of the track, which is aggressive, allowed, but aggressive. Then, yeah, the move was made, he got alongside, and he just drove into him. QT's drafted, towing his teammate along. Oh, hello Zach. Hello Matty, how you guys? He's towing his teammate, and these two are looking really good. They've broke the drafted Daniel Craft, who is in the Acura, so this was an important move to make because that Acura doesn't have the best straight line speed. Like I said, it can fuel save like an animal, but not so much without any draft at all. I think QT Marteau, though, must be like, Dawson, look, I'll give you this draft for 50 minutes, but sir.
Well, of course, Marteau's going for the title, Dawson isn't. And so it might be a case that Dawson doesn't challenge Marteau for the race win, because he will think, well, QT is pretty much there for the title, but he could still do with the extra few points, so maybe Dawson will just hand this one to him. Of course, they do still have a chance that the team's championship do race clutch, and with Effect Simulations not exactly having the best nights of their time, then they could well be cutting that gap very quickly. So could be a big one too for the pair.
Yeah, 100%. Just keep an eye on Turoski. He has lost his way with Daniel Craft. That could have been with traffic, but it's only 1.6 seconds. There's still over 45 minutes left in the race. And we know Madston's got the pace. I saw his laps in practice. They were very competitive. Smith, like we said, all season long, he's been rapidly improving to the point where now he's chomping at the podium every week now. Let's see. But yeah, this dominant display from Marteau and Dawson is, I mean, it's 2.5 seconds now. The Crafts off the lead. And we know they're fuel saving and being smart. Marteau always fuel saves to the maximum. Let's just get some side of MP3. I haven't done the multi-class here with these two classes, but I mean, this is one of the easiest multi-classes track in my opinion. Here, Sebring, it's wide, it's spread out. You can time things.
Is it wide? You think this circuit's wide? I think this is quite a narrow circuit, if anything.
Well, it's wide enough. Wide enough for any type of classes. Even I did triple all week, didn't notice a problem. Monza is the one where it's not just about timing it. It's it can be so frustrating sometimes. All right, we've got the replays to look at.
Yeah, he did move across a bit, didn't he?
No, that's a different incident.
Oh no, okay, so Madston's moved across separately then.
So that was Prato and Hutchinson?
Madsen.
Madsen,
So
Madsen, yeah.
Madsen was the one who ended up ahead, and Prato, for a bit, was ahead. And then Prato sort of done the same defensive manoeuvre. I mean, Prato would have known, seeing that he just tried it on the previous lap, that the next move was going to come.
Yo,
So that was Prato on the outside, and I think he's turned in a bit, hasn't he?
let's see. I don't know. Who's the blue car? It looked like the blue car came over to the left, expecting his.
Oh, you think? Okay, Zico was the one.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. See. Yeah, see. Oh! I saw what you saw. That was not intentional though. That was just coming off the curb. I might have even been a bit of net code. Did we get was one of those replays the one? Wasn't the door-to-door into one though? Was it?
No.
Okay. Okay. It was just a lot of Prato.
Yeah.
But no. Look, the blue car didn't lead. I don't know. It was just a racing incident. It's just a shame. Sitting here and analysing the inches. Prato came off the curb just with a bit of kick, and it happens. And the blue car had what's the word? Pinned him there over to the left, over to the side, and it backfired. But neither did anything wrong. Bruno's requesting the replay. I want to see the one. Oh, you want to see the one and only Philip Craft? Well, if we say the word Philip Craft, he will appear as the car we followed.
He's the one and only Philip Craft, but we've repeatedly got confused between Philip Craft and Daniel Craft so far this season. So he's not distinctive enough, clearly, for us. He needs a new surname. Unfortunately, the pair of them are on either ends of the timing tower at the moment, because Craft is 10th place out of the pros and 16th overall, whilst Daniel Craft's having a very good race up in P3 overall. So, yeah, quite a gap between the two of them.
Yeah, Craft's in no man land. He's got Seagrow 17 behind and Busby's 1.6 ahead of him, unfortunately.
I'm curious as to if Busby has got his webcam operational and whether he's left a message for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time he left us something in Chinese. It was like hello in.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not Chinese, was it? Or
Jap.
oh, Mandarin perhaps. Ni hao. Was,
Ni hao.
The thing that he sent us, but I'm not sure if he's got something for us this week. Unfortunately, he has not provided his camera, so maybe. I mean, I was going to say maybe this, maybe that. I don't think there's any excuse for that, because I wanted to have a bit of French, a bit of Japanese, but he's let us down on that.
So now we are on board with the one and only Philip Craft, who is, yeah, he's in no man's land at the moment. Philip Craft 1.3 ahead, but then even if he catches up to Paul, it's a long way up the road.
Good pace for Kraft. He was 46.9. That's similar pace to Kraft and Turoshki up in P3 and P4.
Yep, indeed.
Of course, he was involved in the lap 1 turn 2 incident. That is why Kraft is so far detached from the rest of the field.
Paul, Craft and Turoski. Turoski's actually lost the draft of Craft now. So Craft is out. The other Craft, Daniel Craft, is on his own out there with no draft. Madsen's holding into the back of Turoski, Smith, and then there's another break in the gaggle. So we're seeing some breaks. It probably a few passes through the traffic has just broke them up. Okay. Here we have the replay of Prato into 1 that we were so hotly debating.
Yeah, I think Prato moved across. But then Prato sort of missed the corner by himself. Like, I don't think Prato can blame the red car for that one, because it wasn't, you know, he made contact and then he seemed to hesitate for another 20 minutes and then he broke, by which time it was too late to slow down for the corner.
Yeah, I mean, the other guy had earned the space. It's blocking at that point if you're trying to come across on a car that's quicker than you, even if they don't have to be. The significantly on side rule is for apexes. If you're on the straight and you move across someone who's faster than you, you're blocking. So, plus he'd already moved once. He had moved to the middle of the track. That was his pinned position. And he didn't move to the racing line. He then moved closer to, well, blocking. So. If you're going to block someone, block them. Don't kill yourself blocking them. Trusky looking good, but he does have the company of Madsen and Smith in his train there. They're 6 seconds off the lead. No doors. I mean, let's see how strong a teammates they are, because Dawson is primed for the win here. But I imagine if Dawson's not passing, Marteau's just fuel saving. But yeah, Dawson's looking very good right now. You may even see him come out ahead in the pits. Let's see how close they really are here. We'll get that decided.
Oh, that's very deep. That is wide off the circuit for Simone Nucera, and Mark Hutchinson has moved past. Nucera seemingly not really fighting for a whole lot there. Wasn't especially close, but just broke 10 meters too late.
Easy done at that track, yeah, at the corner. I actually save a late second gear for that corner, so I always use it. I try and do it in third, but I know I'm going to pull second, so it helps me line up the corner. So I turn in third gear, I embrace the understeer, and second gear, then I'm on the throttle. If you pull second too early and try and carry and you get the wrong amount, and yeah, there's nowhere else to go. This poor Porsche. Mark's a really good driver, but this isn't the car for this track, that's for sure.
What do you think the change will be in next season? Like a 1% power increase perhaps for the Porsche, or?
Well, they never tell us. They never tell us that. But if it's an end of season BOP, they just tell us it's changed. But we've got to expect Porsche with all the money. That's how Bops are done in real life, right? Money. So yeah, we expect the Porsche to be very strong. I'm expecting it to be very strong. Now, don't get me wrong, they all get their pace in different ways. The Caddy's fast in a straight line. The BMW is a very good race car over consistency. The Acura is amazing on fuel, and the Porsche is terrible at everything. So they have their traits.
They're unique.
Yeah. Look at this poor Porsche. Look. What do you do? And he just brakes late. He's going to do too deep, though, because... Oh, no, he did. Did he pull it off? He has. A little bit of weave in there, maybe. Are you allowed to move 9 times in the braking zone?
I think it's just making an extra couple of corners for yourself, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
I think you'll go away with that one. I think there was a deterrent there. moving to the inside, just saying, no, don't even think about it. These two need to, well, I don't want to say that they should stop battling, but of course, with them battling, it is losing them time because they're now 3 seconds behind Bia Chouvel, and Simone Nucer was only tenths of a second behind Chouvel, just a lap ago. But the attacks just aren't going to repel from Hutchinson. Every straight, he is vulnerable right now. And into Canada corner. That was another opportunity, but Nucer's gone deep again, and maybe that is what Hutchinson needs to get some relief for at least half a lap.
So that move Nucer pulls, where you, you pull back in at the last minute, is meant to distract your opponent, not yourself.
Yeah.
He distracted himself. Hutchinson was like, yeah, you do whatever, mate. I know you're not sending it. Nucer blew it. Yeah, if you make them look, and they look, and they screw up their corner, then you can get them on exit. But
Turoski, we sort of thought would be catching up to Kraft after Kraft initially got past him.
Yeah, I did.
Turoski was P3 on the grid, but he's actually dropped into the clutches now of Nick Madsen, who was a tenth of a second faster that last time round. Smith was a further tenth of a second quicker as well. He was actually faster than the 3 guys ahead of him on that last tour of the circuit was Smith. So he's looking very strong right now in that P6 overall, and just at the back of this trio. So Turoski not quite with the same pace, which earned him a easy second place last time out at Monza.
yeah, I need Turoski to win this so that I can live with myself knowing that I'd have done well in this race. So.
I mean, you would surely be what? Between Smith and Valencia right now?
No. I would have passed Turoski this time. I would have got him at the start because Kraft got him, and I'm starts one of my strong points. Do you know who I beat this week? None other than the new Williams signed Jalen Muniz. Passed him twice at the track. He overtook me just before white flag. I got him back just before the start of and then I just jammed it in the tag and ran.
How much iRacing is he?
9.6. And I was ahead of our one and only Paddy, the ART driver, for about 6 laps until he outclassed me and passed me.
Right.
And then left me for dead, and then was quicker in pit stops by 2.2 seconds, and I never saw him again.
Well, Turoski might be quite good in pit stops because he was lifting and coasting. You could hear the clutch be used into Canada corner.
Yeah, let's see. I want him to step it up a bit because he's showing the pace and consistency of a top driver, but his pit stop times, which is something I always focus on, as you know, hasn't been the same as Marteau, Dawson, Busby, Kraft. So let's see. They're not slow, but that's that 2-second gap, which just comes from, yeah, you can clutch into one corner, but if you lift a little bit into every corner and do your clutch in, it's huge.
Wide for Madsen. He will stay ahead of Smith, but that gap very much diminished. Leader of the LMP3s is still Adam States. He has built up a 5-second gap to Dan Sedgley. A little bit disappointing, the LMP3 at the top of that, because State, Sedgley and Fortin have been very evenly matched so far this season. One of them has always had the edge at each circuit. It must be said, Sedgley usually the fastest. Fortin has been fastest on 2 or 3 of the circuits. States, it's been fairly rare. He's usually there or thereabouts, but tonight is definitely his most impressive drive, and he's 5 seconds clear right now of Dan Sedgley, and another 5 seconds to Remy Fortin. Kevin Smith in a comfortable P4, Marlon Schwab in P5, and Paul Joseph Clist rounding up the order in P6.
Yeah, but Sedgley's going to do what Sedgley does, and that's not make a mistake. He'd be good through traffic, good pit stop, and overall it usually gives him enough that he usually, wins. He just doesn't get caught up in things.
So you still think Sedgley's going to win?
I do. Adam's always shown to be quick and consistent, but Sedgley doesn't need to ever be as quick as State as I've seen in the previous races. Let's see.
It's a bit cool. I've got confidence in Adam State here.
Oh, he's fast as hell.
Yeah.
He's rapid as hell. Let's see.
Sedgley loses a couple of tenths there as well. Who turns 7.
It's better than a third of your car. It's better to lose time than a portion of your vehicle.
Nucer has got back past Hutchinson, so of course Nucer went deep, which put him into Hutchinson's grasp. Then he got overtaken. Then he went deep again, which dropped him off the back of Hutchinson. But he's been able to catch up and now overtake him, so he's up to 9th place overall.
Overtook a Porsche. Shocker. Absolutely shocked I am. Sitting here flabbergasted. Daniel Craft's doing amazing, the Acura. You'll see his pit stop time. I mean, he had no draft, though, the poor guy, out on there on his own. Although, actually, we missed this. Dawson is no longer in that tasty little draft of Marteau. Maybe broke up by traffic, but Marteau's certainly not going to go back and give it to him because now he can make sure his pit stop time is enough to give him the gap to stay in the lead. Okay, so who we lost in the race? Oh, Nuno Costa never did come back. So after we obviously lost him to a tow and he retired the car. Hugo Preto the same. Clist is still going. He had the incident and pitted. So Clist must have had a little bit of damage. So he pitted for 11 seconds.
Yeah, it was around that time, wasn't it? Around the Costa Preto crash. So yeah, definitely something to do with that.
Ben Cullen did carry on. So QT's leading, Dawson 1.6 back, Craft is 4.4 off the lead, no, 4 seconds off, sorry, 4 seconds off of actual Dawson. Trotsky's been catching back up a little bit now, 2.5 off Craft, keeping Madsen, Smith, actually that Smith-Madsen battle might be one to watch. Smith, Madsen, Trotsky separated by 1 second, the 3 of them. So they're gaggled up now. Valencia's not too far away, 2 seconds back from this pack. If this pack even fights once, he'll be there. Bichevel, a little bit way back, a little bit on his own there.
Thank you for everyone who's tuning in. 54 people watching. Very much appreciate
54, let's go.
your attendance, and yeah, do let us know what you think. We are broadcasting as well later on the late Apex, and there have been quite a few updates when it comes to the where basically Rennsport games is the main points for this week.
Every week, but let's talk about it this week.
Yeah, because the BTCC license or the BTC game going having events happen to it. So to the IndyCar game, so to Traction.gg as well. New circuits to Rennsport, and some, of course, iRacing, Fuji 8 hours coming up, and we'll update you as well when it comes to Apex Racing Team as well, in terms of results in ESL R1 and other championships Apex have been involved in. So do check that out. That'll be from 10 o'clock tonight on Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, the late Apex, and then I'm going to run home to get sleep because I've got to be up.
You don't run, you drive.
Drive home very quickly, go straight to bed because I've got 2 endurances tomorrow, and one of them is what we're watching on the TV right now, which I'm super excited for. 2.4. Yeah, Dawson's not getting that draft back. Marteau has, I mean, he gave his teammate everything he needed, doesn't need anything now.
Needs to make sure he gets past it into T6, which he does do, but even that's going to lose him a couple of tenths. So gap is up to 2.1 seconds now. 2.2 even. That's 3 tenths there.
Yeah. Chevelle, what was Bichevel's last lap? Yeah, he's looking fine. A little bit off the pack, but I think Valencia can catch up to this pack of Tarosky, Madsen, Smith. He's only 1.8 off them now. David Favaro has pitted. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's just a little earlier than we expected. Maybe strategic. He's coming out. Pit stop 24.5 seconds, which is slower than Sigro but faster than Safoli. So we'll keep an eye on. We need one of the big boys to pit so we can see what the target is.
And we are now halfway through this race, so very much the pit window is open, but the LMDH driver should be able to push it to sort of 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Pit. Have you done any full stints actually this week in preparation for tomorrow, or just been sticking to IMSA stints?
You know me, I agreed to the race about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
So no, I haven't done a full stint. Ask me how my Fuji 8-hour prep is that I'm doing tomorrow.
Do you know the layout?
I did the bop, and that's it. I haven't tried the endurance set. I haven't practiced quali.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's easy track, right? It's not even technical.
It's I am always surprised how popular that circuit is because,
Yeah.
man, it's a tricky one.
We're doing it in the Ferrari, so it's an easier car to drive, so I don't have to worry about that.
Of course, if you want to get free 296
Yep.
setups, as Schwab just goes off the circuit, to check out the Apex Racing newsletter. If you sign up for that, then you get a free setup. Let's see the Ferrari. Oh dear.
He was persuaded to go off. He looks like he was slow on exit and an MDH come through, and you know, you have a level of expectation of the speed of the guy in front, and it was just too much. Okay, we got, who was this battle? Paul Busby and Philip Craft. See, someone was after the one and only Philip Craft. Looks like he's going for a move on our very popular man Paul here. Let's see. But he's certainly caught up fast.
Well, he's 1.6 seconds faster on that last tour.
Yeah. He's having a little bit of a weave. He's trying to make himself look bigger in the mirror. Let's see what he can set up. So I've been learning something about this car with your pedal crossover. You need to be super careful that you don't cross over your pedals too much. It can really hurt your ERS regeneration because you do not get any regen braking while you have throttle input. So it's not a lot with a little bit of crossover. Over a lap, especially at Road America, where you've got so many braking points, it's a lot. It adds up. A percent odd here and there adds up. So you've got to consciously get off the throttle, brake, and then you get maximum deployment. And if you're following someone and you're not really going anywhere, brake earlier, brake lighter, extend your braking as long as you can, and you get more deployment. Do this for a few laps, slap it in attack mode on the straight, you blow by, and you're left with almost as much as you would have had you just been pushing. Unless you're around 5.8k rate, and then stop listening because I don't want everyone too fast. No, it's just something I'm trying to focus on in this car. But no, it's just so much fun to drive. Okay, LMP3s, yeah, Dan, they're separated unfortunately. Yeah, so Dan Sedgley 6.5 off Adam State, Remy Fortan 5.8 off off of sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. Off of Dan Sedgley, and then Kevin Smith he has pitted.
Yeah, quite recently.
Here's Remy Fortan. His car's looking nice and clean. And from this angle, that fire, as it starts to pan out, it always makes me wonder what on earth I'm looking at.
Because they did do an artwork redesign a couple of years ago. Still really want to see, and this is niche, seasons on iRacing. Because some of the screenshots and often when they race here at Road America, these trees which crowd over the circuit, it's a real nice setting, are you know, brown, and it looks really cool.
This track, talking of IndyCar, is way overdue an update. I mean, I watched the IndyCar race and I barely recognised the track. All of the runoffs, like 1, 2,
yeah,
I have those giant asphalt runoffs. Yes, it is better. I agree.
So I think keep it the same.
No, actually, yeah, you are correct. There is no... It's very Watkins Glenny nowadays, where you can just run off for miles without that clipping of grass that you're trying to avoid. So, yes, ignore what I said. Sam's correct. We like this. Let's keep this.
We just want the trees to change colour.
We just want autumn. Yes.
And winter, please. I mean, once rain comes out, they've really got no excuse not to have winter.
Winter isn't even in Iris. You can't even pick the winter dates, right? That's why most races are on April 1st, because that's the earliest it goes.
I don't really understand the logic for some of them, because some of them are April 1st, some of them are March the 1st.
Yeah. I don't understand it either. Yeah, you see April 1st a lot. Be nice if every now and then we could race into Lagos when it's cold. Or does it just never get cold in Brazil?
Well, any Brazilians watching along, do let us know. I mean, it is in the middle of your workday probably at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but do let us know. That's a big lift for Cheshire.
Yeah, it's looking good.
He's caught up to Kart actually a lot. I didn't really notice this, but this gap has been plunging down, hasn't it, over the last few laps? It was about 2 seconds just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. 1 or 2 tenths a lap, it's added up fast. Rusty's looking really good. Let's just hope he just he times it with upcoming LMP3 traffic, because that'll give you an advantageous boost here. If you can pit and your opponent has to go through traffic, very helpful. Send it, mate. Oh, no.
Oh.
See, you could say mentally Tarosky caused that, because you are filling the opponent, the traffic's mirror. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. Obviously, let me disclaim, he did nothing wrong. But when you're in a multi-class race, intimidating traffic costs you time.
I guess I see your point, but I think if Kevin Smith, who was the driver who spun there, is blaming anyone but himself, I think he
Yeah, Hunter
needs to.
Yeah, no, it's his fault, 100%. His own fault. But what I'm saying is, it's just that, you know, intimidation.
Yeah.
Like the guy's looking in his mirror,
yeah.
like, what do I like? Is he going to send it? Is he not? And then, yeah. And Tarosky himself was going to be slow off of the corner anyway, because he was on the opposite to the racing line. But yeah, sorry, I worded that badly. Tarosky did absolutely nothing wrong. To be honest, there are a lot of times where intimidating traffic is the key, because you can sometimes. I mean, I've been called out on chat before about being a bully, but I was like, no, I didn't do anything. I just intimidated him. He left the apex open, and then I took it. So I didn't send it. I just sort of was making it look like I might go for this, and he turns in, stays wide, and I take the apex. I mentally bullied him.
I fully support your methods because, yeah, I think when it comes to traffic, I think you should be as aggressive as possible. Here comes Hutchinson. Meanwhile, he's going to get past. This is past Bierschouvel, actually. So these guys have got fairly close to one another. He's not totally clear going into Bill Mitchell, but he's going to have to leave a bit of space.
Oh my God.
And he left enough, but not a whole lot more than that. So he's up to, that is 8th place overall for Hutchinson, ahead of Bierschouvel. Because Hutchinson before was battling, was it Nucera?
It was Nucera, yeah.
Nucera's now been stationary in the pit lane for 90 seconds, so I think something's happened to the Italian driver, which has ruled him out of contention.
Oh, that's a shame. We'll try and catch up with that. Alan saying into log said 22 track temp the other week with GT3s. Oh, do you know what? I haven't been keeping an eye on GT3s because I've fallen in love with GTP. This was close, that move from Mark Hutchinson. He is lucky Netco didn't have its wicked way there. Good move, though. So we are watching... So yeah, it looks like this area's done. We've got State. All the LMP3s in. State, Sedgley, Fortan, Schwab. Schwab, that's the name of a bank, right? In America, I think Michael Schwab.
Not familiar with American banks.
Let me check. Schwab. And I now can't spell it.
Yeah, how is Schwab doing at the moment? Yeah, because yeah, coming into the pits himself, albeit yeah, he's been stationed for a while, hasn't he, Schwab? In trouble is the German driver. State's already back out onto track, so he's all good in the LMP3s. It's actually in 2nd place, in Fortan, a little bit closer. Now only 3.5 seconds behind. So actually did make up about 0.6 of a second. Meanwhile, Marteau is in, and we were anticipating about the 40-minute mark, and that has delivered. Because at Fuji, we saw some drivers go beyond 50 minutes, but I haven't quite seen that length replicated on the most part this season. Marteau very close to the wall. He wants to open up the exit as much as possible, because he can drive straight through that pace guide. He doesn't need to worry about
but has he read the patch notes every season? Because one season they're going to change it, and you're going to come out and just boom.
Well, I mean, it's always a question: do you have collisions? Because in oval racing, you can collide in lane. That's why they have
at oval tracks.
Daytona. You can collide with drivers. I don't think it would work, because then iRacing would need to have a system where the lollipop guy knows when to let you out.
Yeah.
But I think ideally it would be pretty neat. So yeah, that was in for Marteau. He's down to 10th place. Dawson now leading, and all of these guys are going very soon. Being Pedro Valencia not far off these guys either. He's catching up and having some really good pace as well, Valencia. 46.1 that last time round. That's half a second faster than even Andrew Dawson out in the lead.
QT's pit stop 25.8. So we can keep an eye on that and use that as almost a benchmark for the other drivers. Thomas Cope, happy birthday to PJC Racing tonight in LMP3. Oh, Glist. I was like, PJC? What is that? I don't recognise that team
Yeah, we
name.
came up with that nickname about 6 months ago, I think, in one of the broadcasts, and
Oh, there you go.
I'm a big fan of it. Great
Okay,
guy is
Dawson
PGC.
in. Dawson went a lap longer, as we suspected, due to the fuel saving behind his teammate.
And Kraft still going as well himself, actually, as well as Tchaikovsky and Smith. But yeah, Madsen and Valencia out of fuel. Hutchinson as well, continuing around for another lap. The guy who he was battling with before, Beer Chouvel, going to duck on in.
Come on, Tarosky. I mean, sorry, I'm trying to stay balanced and even here, and I hope every racer has an equal opportunity at the win.
Yes, we very much getting that idea.
Yes.
As long as one of us is a bias, I think it's all right. Maybe I need to just balance out you.
Yeah.
So maybe if I root against Tarosky, then that will be measured.
Yeah. Oh, he is. Oh no, wait. Of course, that's Dawson. I was thinking he's jumped his teammate, but no, I got it.
He was a lot quicker in the pit stop though, Dawson.
Yeah.
2.25 seconds quicker, but the gap was about 4 seconds. It's now 2.5 seconds. So
That's why QT will be glad he built that gap. So Daniel Kraft has inherited the lead for the moment. And Tarosky, if he's playing this correct, he's playing it very well. He should, I don't know how much fuel he is, but just do the opposite of Kraft in front.
that is Busby ahead of them, by the way, who is about to be a lap down. He's just pitted as Busby, so he's almost an entire lap down.
Okay, I'd box then. I actually don't like the draft. The dirty air versus the draft. I'd box. Honest. Yeah. See, it isn't as worth as much as you think, especially late into the stint where you're trying to watch your tyres. Oh, whoever was behind Tarosky, yeah.
Was pretty good on the pit entry there. He might be able to gain a position on Tarosky potentially, albeit Tarosky, I think, was saving a lot of fuel in that stint. I would be surprised if Tarosky's not P3
I
after
hope
this
so.
pit stop.
Because, yeah, like I say, I haven't seen that from Tarosky yet this season on being that kind of collected with fuel. But let's see. I am rooting for him, but let's see. His stop was good. All of them were good. None of them up for tyres, which is correct. It's an hour and it's not exactly a hot track.
So the car number one, the defending champion and the championship leader, will move back to the lead. A new way, actually. Ben Cullen has somehow been able to edge it out for another lap. Cullen hasn't pitted yet. I don't know how he's done that. Here comes Tarosky. So he did get ahead of Kraft. That is what we were anticipating. And a decent way ahead as well. So Tarosky now effectively in P3. Then it's Kraft, Smith, Madsen and Valencia quite far back. Were Madsen and Valencia this far back before? It seems like they were stationary for about 2 seconds longer. I mean, Tarosky, 19.95. That's 5 seconds shorter. You wanted him to cut out some pace, and he really has done, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's obviously been working hard on all the right things. Explains why his iRating's absolutely flying up. That's a brilliant pit stop. Yeah, that's stellar.
And they've totally dropped Valencia and Madsen by doing that. Real big gap.
His pit stop was 5 seconds quicker than Marto's.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, it's half the gap pretty much to Marto. He's only 5 seconds off the lead now? Maybe a bit more. 7.5 off the lead.
Yeah, it's a very good pit. So Ben Cullen's definitely got to be coming in soon. Yeah, you're right, he hasn't pitted. He's the only guy out there. As we see Van Helden in the pits. Great lap from Marto there. 45.7 set in the class. That's a stellar lap. Where the hell's that come from?
Now, Race Clutch do have some pretty bad memories of this circuit from the last time that they visited. I briefly mentioned it earlier on, but in the ASUS, Apex Racing League Endurance Championship, they were leading the way about a minute clear of the rest of the order. But Timu Milikangas spun at the final corner, then got hit by another driver, and it cost them the win. They ended up finishing in second place. I don't know if that will maybe be in the thoughts, but I wonder if that will just encourage them to have Dawson not push Marto and just say, no need for fastest laps, no need for any risk taking. Let's just settle for the 1-2 and bring ourselves back into teams championship contention.
I had to swallow some of that pain that you just described at this very track in LMP3. It was only a community race, but I was racing against the one and only Daniel Morad. And I not only was leading, Daniel Morad was second and catching on the last couple of laps. And I actually settled into that thought of, I've got this under control, and I dropped it. Oh no, I was P2. Sorry, Zach was ahead of me. I was P2. Daniel Morad was catching me. I dropped it in the last corner. Do you know why? Because I tried to set up a run to the finish line to be first.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just dropped the car, spun it. I couldn't. It took me a while to just recollect my thoughts. It was an hour-long race, and I just lost it on white flag last corner. All I had to do was drive straight, and I'd lost it. Very difficult to deal with. Okay, so Dawson's almost 3 seconds back now. Trotsky 7 off the lead, putting him 4 behind Dawson. Daniel Craft. Smith having another good race. Up 3 positions from the start. That's what we've seen from him. So perhaps he's not good at race. Perhaps he's just bad at quali. Question.
Yeah?
Because he always climbs up.
He does.
Does Smith. Or he just stays out of trouble. Yeah, there has been a lot of things involving, things happening in this race. We're seeing a lot of fast lap times. I'm thinking the race clutch guys took tyres. We definitely saw Tarosky, Smith and Madsen not take tyres, but I don't recall watching the QT Dawson because, I mean, the lap times they're putting in now, 45.7, both of them. The last lap from QT before that was a 45.7. We've had 3 of the fastest laps of the race, the last 2 laps from 2 drivers, and that puts them almost 8 tenths a lap quicker than the guys behind.
Well, it's about, is it 23 seconds for tyres, I think?
Yeah.
So for the likes of Turoshki and Kraft, they could actually save a few seconds in the pit stall by not taking tyres, whereas, yeah, for Marteau, you may as well take them.
Yeah, because they're flying. Like, even if something went wrong and Turoshki was on them, Turoshki's nowhere, none of them are near the pace of the front runners right now. Because, yeah, it went Marteau purple, and then Marteau purple, and then Dawson just gone purple. Katie Evans in chat, decent night's racing again. Yeah, it's been a really fun race, nice close field. Let's check in with the LMP3s.
Yeah, it's getting a bit closer for P2 now, actually, in the LMP3s. I mean, State is far away, 13 seconds up the road, but Fortan is very slowly catching. That gap was, I think it peaked at about 6 seconds, some 10 minutes into the race. And over the last half an hour or so, it's just been whittled down ever so slightly. Came down by about half a second during the pit stop sequence as well. It's now down to 2.5. On that last lap, Fortan was a 10.5 faster, so he does need to start gaining a bit more than that in order to catch up to Sedgley. But he is getting closer, and Sedgley could win the title tonight, okay? But maybe if State wins and Sedgley's down in 3rd, I think that might be enough to keep it alive for one more round to go.
Well, that scenario is highly possible. Remy Fortan does look like the man on the move, and State looks like he's got this victory mapped out, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Only 10.5 minutes left to go. This race has gone quite quick. How's Kevin Smith getting on?
Well, a solid P4.
Yeah, P4. He's a little bit out of sync, I think. Not sure what happened to him quite early in the race. I think he got caught up in one of the incidents.
Yeah, and then took his pit stop very early.
Yeah.
Like, the earliest he could do. He will get to the end of the race. He doesn't need to pit again. But he came in ASAP. But I don't think that's going to make much of a difference to his results. Thanks, by the way, to one of our sponsors. We did see a trailer for them earlier on, VRS. And VRS, their software to help you get faster on iRacing along with their hardware, providing their wheelbase, their wheel rim, and their pedals. So do check out VRS.racing or ApexRacingSim.com in order to check out their products for some very high quality sim racing equipment. And of course, if you want to try the stuff out and you are based in the UK, come to Corby in Northamptonshire, and you can try out the equipment at the Apex Racing Sim rigs. That was nearly a 3-wide scenario there. Well, Smith was diving up the inside. Kraft just took a while seemingly to get 100% clear of the LMP3.
Yeah, it shows Smith wants this fight ahead. It's great to see.
Blowing their engine, isn't it? Nice bonfire going on in the pit lane.
But yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen an engine blow in a while in officials, but yeah, it still can happen.
It's either BSUVL or Seago. I think it's BSUVL who I think may have just crashed, towed back to the pits, and now has a smoking engine. I imagine with the batteries actually in these things, I imagine the fires that they produce are fairly humongous.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, we're going to bring you some replays. This is what we saw BSUVL and Schwab earlier, where he was just, I think the LMP3 was just slow on the apex. Oof. That's the Tarosky mind pun. Oh, this is that close netcode call. Here we go. No contact, but great move from Mark there. Brave. Very brave.
Is there on the inside, BSUVL on the outside?
Oh.
I mean, I feel like BSUVL was very ambitious to expect himself not to end up in the wall going on the outside of that corner, right?
Hold on, let's see. No, yes, but he'd earned every right. He was almost ahead.
I think he was ahead.
Yeah, because obviously the second they turn right, he'd be behind just because of the nature of the angle. But yeah, he'd earned space, definitely. The guy knew he was there. They'd banged doors 4 times, which tells me only one thing. But no, you definitely earned the right to space.
Personal best lap of the race for Andrew Dawson that last time round. 0.4 of a second faster than Mate. You gotta wonder what Joshua Wilson could have done out there. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far, 45.2. But down in 15th place, unfortunately, he was involved in a collision on lap 1. Wasn't even really a collision he was initially involved in. I think it was his teammate Busby hitting a car ahead, and that car ahead spun into Wilson, and that's why he's so far down. These guys barely making the corner. This is Kraft versus Smith. Smith will be kicking so they didn't just break a bit earlier and get the cut back and get underneath. But Kraft did everything he needs to do. Smith's not particularly happy, but I think certainly that first time round it was all fair game.
Yeah, all fair game. Signed up for a race, didn't they? That's the phrase I always say.
Valencia and Madsen catching back up to these guys as well. They really lost touch in the pit stops, didn't they? But they're only a couple of seconds back now.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a tight finish. We've seen Smith really, he definitely wants this. See him a lot more hungrier than we have. And they say, we always say he's barking on the door of a podium. This is the fight for P4. Well, this is the fight for P3 in LMDH Pro, right?
That is 100% true, yeah.
So there we go. Could see him again.
Of course, Aaron will be alongside myself for the opening round of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup on Tuesday. I recommend checking that out. That's going to be 60 Porsche Cups. We're using our elimination heat formats. So that'll be on the channel from 20 GMT on Tuesday. Myself and Aaron in the comms box.
Nice. What time Tuesday?
20 GMT.
Okay, I'll make sure to tune in and troll you on chat, I promise. I'll ask you random questions, at random times.
the more random, the better.
Good.
You look forward to it. Valencia was 1.8 seconds faster that last time around than Kraft. So another lap like that, and he'll be ahead of these guys.
That's what I was going to say. You was talking about Joshua and his pace, and he hasn't been qualifying well this season. And Busby, to be honest, we know their race pace and where they can finish and their pit stops and everything, but qualifying, then they're actually never inside the top 8. And that including the AMs.
I think Le Mans may have been the one round where Busby did well in qualifying.
Oh, I think it was almost.
But he was so fast in the race that it was like he was still off in quali. But it was just he had so much pace that he made up for it. But you're absolutely right. It is their qualifying. They need to work on.
Yeah, they're missing a trick, or I'm not sure. See, I don't want to give too much away, but in LMDH, I actually don't practice race pace because I find these cars so... there's more technicality to the qualifying than there is. I mean, I know how to drive these things at race pace and be consistent and stay in draft and fuel save, blah, blah, blah. But qualifying, I find there's a lot of time that can be extracted.
I think Smith and Kraft didn't change tyres. I think Valencia did change tyres because this pace difference is huge. He is absolutely cutting down that gap, and you have to question the logic of not taking tyres if they are losing this amount of time at the end.
Yeah, look at
sure
the gap.
They saved.
Tarosky, 11 seconds now. He's absolutely been dropped since the pit stop, so
I mean, they saved probably 3 seconds in the pit stop by not taking tyres. But then Tarosky didn't take tyres either, did he?
But he is dropping back. His lap times are 46.8, where Dawson's doing 45.9s, 9/10 a lap quicker.
Yeah, I think it's about a second lap difference, isn't it? As here comes the move. Oh, it could be 3 wide, and they've all collided. They have all collided. Aaron Smith goes off the circuit. Pedro Valencia moves through, and Nick Madsen didn't really need to do anything.
We'll get a replay of that.
That looked like one car going for a move on another car going for a move on another car, and they all met in the same piece of real estate.
How I saw it was an uncommitted overtake from Valencia. I think it was Valencia's. I think he had everything he needed to do the move, but he went in half-hearted, late, didn't use any of the speed he was carrying, and in the end, he just poked his nose into Smith that then got spun into...
Kraft?
I nearly nailed it perfectly. I got so close. Right, yeah, but I'm going to say the replay is going to show Valencia just half-baking it, like doubting it, under braking, and then sort of just releasing the brake and, just essentially just ploughing into him, unfortunately. And which is silly, because Valencia had more than enough lap time to easily pass them both. Hell, even if he wasted his attack mode on the next lap, his car would have been so quick he wouldn't have needed much deployment to stay away from them because of the sheer traction gains he had.
Kraft has had to go back to the pits because of that, either for repairs or potentially he's gone over the instant limit and needs to serve a drive-through penalty. If it is a drive-through penalty, then this is the worst track on the calendar to have a drive-through. He's not exactly...
Spa endurance. Yeah, that's a joke.
There was one on this calendar, at least, and it is a drive-through penalty because he is not threatening the pit stalls whatsoever, and so Kraft putting himself onto the edge and being tipped over it by another driver. He's now down to 10th position, and I think he was 3rd place in the championship going into this round. Overall, 2nd place in the pros. That could well be a threat now.
I know I always just seem to make controversial calls on this, calling out drives, but I honestly do think that's going to be a Valencia big penalty because he's essentially cost Smith a position and wiped out Kraft. Well, I mean, does it count as killing another driver? Because your rules are about because he didn't get a meatball, he hit his limit, so
I don't think the instant limit will matter. I mean, of course, I'm not the steward for this, but you know, I think the
because he didn't kill anyone.
No,
so
if someone gives it's a 20 instant limit, so
a 20 for an hour.
Yeah.
Wow. Although no, actually, to be honest, my week has been I think 1-1-5-1. So, and I think the 1 was just a 4x little tap I had. You just got to be careful. It's easy to get one in turn 2 and I suppose the exit of Canada corner if you're opening up the wheel. All right, so this is the replay. So Valencia, I mean, let's see.
I'm sympathetic to Valencia on this one, just because I think he's put himself in a...
No, that's sympathetic. It's a Mario Kart move. No, he doesn't commit. Put your car there or don't put your car there, but he just puts his nose there. This is Valencia's PO. Yeah, look, he's backed out of it and just left his nose there.
I think maybe Kraft is really early on the base, or Smith is very deep himself. You don't know where they all would have ended up on the corner exit, but there's a chance that Smith would have just missed the corner, I think, because he was deep. And I think Kraft is complicating it all. He wants to be a steward. Marto with 2 corners to go, and there's going to be
that's gone quick.
No hiccups.
No, this was a supreme drive.
And it's going to be a 1-2 as well for Race Clutch. They're going to have a good chance at the Teams Championship. And this man, even closer to a 6th Apex Racing League crown. He shakes his head, he nods his head across the line, and it is a Road America victory for Kyotiake Marto ahead of Andrew Dawson. It is going to be another amateur victory for Balazs Chirowski, and in the end, a 3rd place overall. There he is, coming to the line. Excellent work for him, and it will be Valencia who may keep the 4th position, finishing in provisionally 4th position.
Yeah, okay, so listening to your comment and having time to think, I get what you're saying. You're saying Smith, it doesn't show it true because Smith just broke giga late. That's what you're saying, yeah? He just broke so late, it made it look like he's poking
If anything, I say it was Kraft breaking early, which caused issues because they're all trying to make space for one another on a fairly narrow corner.
Yeah, no, I get you. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks because I have to consider, right, they were 3 wide. Oh, is that a position change at the line there?
I think that was a back marker and a driver on the lead lap.
Oh.
We are going to have our LMP3 leader, though, come up to the line. Adam State will be the next driver. He is the red and white car. There is Adam State getting a race win by 17 seconds.
Yeah,
phenomenal stuff.
Very impressive.
From Adam State. Dan Sergi will hold on in the LMP3s, however, for 2nd place ahead of Remy Fortin. Well, we will go to a quick break whilst the remaining drivers cross the line, but we'll be back in just a few minutes' time for us to go through the final results and have a chat with a couple of our drivers. Welcome back to the Apex Racing TV esports studio. Thanks once again to Apex Racing Academy for supporting this championship. There's a link in the YouTube chat which you can click on in order to get on the mailing list. And if you get on the Apex Racing mailing list, then you get free setups and free advice for the Fuji 8 hours, which is happening tomorrow. So if you need a late setup for the Ferrari 296, do certainly check that out. And generally, the mailing list is quite good to get on to check out everything that's happening with the various Apex Racing League brands. Yeah, pretty strong race, that one. And yeah, Marto back to his best. And I don't know, do you think Dawson was pushing 100% all the way there, or do you think it was a bit choreographed?
No, I think that was a dominant display from the both. I think Dawson had the pace to keep up with QT, but I think traffic broke them up after about half an hour, and then we saw them similarly paced. Dawson was a bit quicker in the pits, by about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. But yeah, I mean, that was a very dominant display from the big names on LMDH there.
Let's have a look at the final standings. We went through most of them anyway beforehand. That was just a big crash on the screens behind us. Marte winning out ahead of Dawson, Tiroshki, Valencia, Madsen, Smith was maybe unlucky. Maybe it was his fault, that crash. Who knows? Hutchinson, bit of a quiet one, but I said Hutchinson would gain a lot of places, and the Northern Irish driver absolutely did. I think he was up about 10 places in the overall standings in the end. P2 out of the AMS. Ferrari was behind him then, so Foley. Kraft again. Wow, the 2 Crafts ended up right next to one another. Who would have thought that? 10 minutes into the race. Busby, Cullen, Van Helden, Wilson, State. State was top of the amateur drivers. Top of the LMP3 drivers. It's been a long season. Sedgley in second. Then it's Fortin. Smith and Clist Schwab retired, unfortunately, from the LMP3 category. Let's have a chat with some of our drivers, and no one is here. So we will instead talk about the next race, the final race of the season. It is going to be Red Bull Ring for the final round. Yeah, I divides opinion that one. I'm personally not a massive fan. I love it in Formula 1. I think it's one of the best circuits in Formula 1. To drive, though, is not one of my favourites, honestly.
I've never done it in prototype. Well, I did it in LMP2 a lot, actually. So I am lying when I say I've never done it in prototypes. I've never done it in GTP. It is a tough track. I mean, the off tracks are garbage. The the sausage curb physics in iRacing has always been a bit harsh. Like it's like hitting a brick wall, and there is the sausage on one, out of one. It's tricky, and it makes making a move all that more difficult because you can be leaving room to each other. But if one of you touches a sausage curb, you end up beating into the other guy. So it can be a little brutal, the racing. I dread to think, because the gravel traps now are so slow if you clip them, and Red Bull Ring has them everywhere on the exit, so I can't imagine the pain it must be in qualifying. But I'm excited for next week to race it myself and for broadcasting the league race. But yeah, it's a tough track. Yeah, we're going to be interesting with them two car classes. It's going to be a tough one. People need to be chill.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of lapping as well. I mean, I know we don't have a whole lot of LMP3s anymore, but the LMP3 drivers that are there, they're going to have a lot of LMDHs firing past them because it's a short circuit. And I guess it's a circuit as well where there's going to be a big pace difference because of the extra power of the LMDHs. I mean, the extra straight line speed they're going to have is large.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of ERS. They're going to easily be able to do 2 laps at Red Bull Ring. I haven't done a lap myself, but it's only a short lap and there aren't that many straights. But yeah, that last section of the racetrack for multi-class, it's it's stressful.
There will be dives into the final corner.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Well, I think that pretty much is it for us then for this broadcast tonight. But do remember, in maybe just 15 minutes time, I mean, keep tuned on the channel, we will be chatting about the world of sim racing on the late Apex, stuff that's been going on with motorsport games, stuff that's coming up on iRacing, also Assetto Corsa 2 updates as well, so do check all of that out. That'll be up in a few minutes time on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. Of course, if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel. There's way more events coming up, including the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup on Tuesday. We've also got Weekend Warriors in a couple of days' time. That's in the Spec Racer Ford, and also the Formula Ford as well. I think we've got Radicals on a little bit later tonight as well. In fact, that might already have started, and many more broadcasts as well. And do check out the Apex Racing TV and Apex Racing League social media channels on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well, for extra bonus content from our various series. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, and from David Sampson, we will say goodbye, and we'll see you at the season finale in 1 week's time at Red Bull Ring. See you then. Cheers.